Oh yeah, yeah. As the routed and disorganized Federal 19th Corps makes their hasty retreat through the area beyond Belle Grove. Now, Belle Grove is a little bit to the left of where you see the yellow tower buildings over here. If you look that way and you were a little bit to the left, that is the Belle Grove house. And they're a little bit to the left. They will be going to the rear of that house down through the hollow formed by Meadow Brook. As they make their retreat through this area, the Confederate force also is becoming somewhat disorganized because there are guys that are looting the camps and his commands. And by the way, don't forget the issue of the fog. There's a heavy fog, and still by this time, you can barely see people that are 50 to 75 yards away. So it is a surprise attack that worked very well for the Confederates early in the morning. The fields in front of you at the time of 1864, in October of 1864, would have been full of animals that had been kept in the Federal camp, running around, horses, wagons trying to get away, and soldiers that are running for their very life out in front of you. Here comes Gordon's guys from across the pike. They'll join in the Confederate effort. Things are going to get worse for the Federals here pretty quick. And more men coming on the field all the time. In the early morning attack, the only guy that was not initially engaged was a guy by the name of Wharton, Gabriel Wharton, and his Virginia units. These guys represent Terry's Stonewall Brigade, a lot of very important Southern infantry. Decimated by this time, in poor condition, but still very valiant. Now these are the guys that have driven Stephen Thomas's men out of the hollow there below the park headquarters, and have come on the field, come across the pike, and are now in the field.
Guys are lined up like this, it really don't make any difference. You're gonna hit something. Yeah, but this thing.
These guys in front of you now are simulating what exactly really did happen on October the 19th, 1864. These two sides fought on this field right in front of you. Oh, there's a guy that got shot right there. How about that? These guys that you see right in front, passing us left to right, is just about the approximate size of a regiment in the day in 1864. The ranks had been decimated so much that this is about like they are. And you see, they're beginning to drive the Federals. The Federals are beginning to retreat, and this is the way they would fight at that point in time. Fire a volley, everybody stops and moves, get ready for the next volley. The Confederates are buoyed with their success thus far. They have driven 2 Federal Army Corps way more than twice their number from the field, and they are buoyed with their success. Here comes some more Confederates on the field. The process is gaining. The Federals are falling back. As the Federals fall back, the Confederates continue their advance. Their advance will eventually carry them beyond the town of Middleton, but it is fought like you're watching today, step by step, 100 yards by 100 yards. The Heater family living in the little white house down in the hollow there would certainly be in the basement by now. William Emery, the commander of the 19th Army Corps, was roused awake by the early morning attack. He was not ready for the fight, nor were virtually anyone in the Federal camp. Now Emery is out on the field, and of course Sheridan is not present at the time. Sheridan is in Winchester when all this is occurring. And Emery takes good command here, and he is asking for help from the Federal Army's 6th Army Corps, which is way off in our front, way over beyond the green trees camped over there. He is asking for help to help stem this retreat. And he will get some help. And the Confederates will begin to put up resistance as they get toward the end of this field. This being the actual field that occurred on as well. Again, the Ribs are gaining ground. Now the Confederate artillery comes on the field. Tom Carter brings the Confederate artillery from Fisher's Hill. They were camped at Fisher's Hill. They waited a little behind because they didn't want to make noise on the heavy pike that the Federals could hear. And they're now coming on the field. They're going to put their guns into battery. They will put as many as 30 guns in battery in the actual day. But they're going to be firing over the head of their infantry into the retreating Federals. And it becomes almost a panic for the Federal Army. To stem the tide of this Confederate advance, Lieutenant Hezekiah Hickson's 17th Battery, Indiana Light Artillery, was actually deployed right in the yard of the Belgrove Mansion and was now rapidly firing east across the pike at Gordon's and Ramseur's advancing forces. They would be firing at these guys you see right out here in the front. The efforts of Emery's defense paid dividends. The 6th Corps, about 8,000 men in that, have not yet been attacked and are beginning to come on the field. Notice that the Federal guns are beginning to reply over on the far right. Many Confederate cannon were captured that morning in the early dawn. Some over on Bowler's position at Cedar Creek, more in Hayes and their camp east of the pike, and then a great deal in the 19th Army Corps down here in the line of trenches we talked about a while ago. looking pretty good for the CSA right now.
Go out there
The
with
big
you.
guns begin to fire.
Hollering, calm down.
And actually, many of these, many cannon came into battery just about where you parked your cars on the east side of the bank, right up on that knoll. And they're firing across Middletown into Middletown and into these fields. Here they go.
Oh, these guys are going after those guys.
Between the fog and the smoke that you see that early morning, remember that we're talking about 30,000 men fighting here, not 1,500. You can imagine 25 times this many guns going off in 30 minutes instead of 10. Just imagine the smoke and the fog mixed, and how the field was obscured and people couldn't see one place to go. Very hard to determine who you're shooting at. A lot of confusion on this field in the early morning of October 19th. We're probably in the neighborhood of 7:30 in the morning at this point in time. As you see out here, when you think about modern day gunfire, you don't see the smoke that you see here. This is smoke from black pepper, both out of the cannons and out of the individual rifles. And with that men firing on a field this size, you can just imagine how hard it was to see someone or know who you were seeing or how to give commands to your unit. And the roar of the battle was tremendous as well. So you just have to imagine how difficult it was to see where you were. And of course, we didn't have cell phones back then, and you couldn't call your commander and do all that. So you can just imagine what really happened here. And by this time, probably 3,000 federal casualties on the field that would be killed, wounded, and captured. There's a lot of people people are dragging wounded people back. The hospitals will be created in Middletown on north to Stephen City, be full of Union wounded. At Cedar Creek, back just across the creek, a notable house, the Cedar house there, served as a hospital. They said that the amputated legs and arms were higher than the window that they pitched them out of as they made the amputations. And the 50 people of the Stephen family didn't live to the war. Remember that as the 6th Army Corps way off to your front, it's beginning to come to the field and is around and get going. Remember that they are 8,000 strong. They're almost as strong as Early's infantry in his army. So they're going to have a big effect on this fight later in the day. As what you see transpiring is going on, and we talked about the 6th Corps a moment ago. The 6th Corps is coming on the field right now. You see them way off in the front, coming on the field. Brigadier General George Washington Getty will march his entire 2nd Division of the 6th Army Corps going to aid General Emory on this field, because, I mean, Emory is in a lot of trouble. You can see that he's been driven far north. Now, the field that we're using here doesn't, as we said, the entire size. What we see now actually going on at the far end of this field, pretty much where you see the cannon smoke to the front left, actually occurring on this field. A lot of these guys have now gone into the field and trying to reform beyond Middletown. Getty will take charge of this affair, though. But by now, the Confederates are starting to straggle. They've lost men as well, and their ranks are not as full as they were in the early morning. We don't want to talk a lot about many of them remaining in camp, in the federal camp, but obviously there were some, because most of them left their shoes. If the Federals ran out of camp, left their shoes, some of them but at any rate, the Confederates become a little bit disorganized as this affair is going on. Getty's guys from the 6th Army Corps will occupy the extreme western end infantry on the field. And you can see them moving up on the hill and way down in Europe. They'll become the anchor of the Federal line. It's about 7:30 in the morning. The attack of the 19th Corps and on the 8th Corps, and of course, the 3,000 casualties by this time. And those 2 corps, the 8th and the 19th, on the field and just this morning, the Confederates have really failed at everything. The Federal cavalry, and now Western Europe sends Thomas Devon's brigade, Federal, over here to the right in the Federal effort to help reorganize the Federal infantry. By this time, Sheridan is roused awake in Winchester and